Alright, what's up guys? It's Brandon Carey. Today I am with my friend and coworker, Matt, and he drives a 2018 STI, as you see. We're going to be installing some parts on the STI today, if you want to go ahead and tell them what's going on.
So what we got going on is a rear strut bar, and it's more or less for chassis geometry is the whole purpose of it, because it's a cross type. So Brandon, if you're just going to hand me that right over there. So this is what we got going on. It's going to be a cross type for then actual total. There's going to be a cutout in here. We're going to pop the trunk in a second, and then I'll show you what's going on. We're going to do it this way. That'll be good enough to do, like, alright, it's not fully set in, but this is the whole guy. So it's when it gets farther in, the idea is for the whole cutout to stay square for the rear suspension to work properly with total wheel height travel, basically. And then in that way, when you have like the camber and like the multi-link in the rear, the suspension and everything, and maybe the camber can actually stay more equivalent to what the manufacturer designed it to do. So one of the first things I noticed is, of course, it's easier to just stand in the rear door, just to kind of lean in from the back instead of the trunk area, but mainly on the strut tower from the factory, these silver ones aren't a locking style. Cusco does provide a different grade bolt with a locking style on the bottom end. So when you torque everything back down properly, everything's got lock washers, it's pretty safe, and then it'll just stay and put all the carpet back when we're done, and it'll be just kind of set it and forget it. So this top bar was a little bit trickier than I expected. The biggest thing that I've taken away from doing this job so far is investing in a very good set of Allens. I was fortunate enough to just grab a really good deal on some snap-on Allens, but basically I didn't really expect to use it. I thought maybe they'd have some Allen keys or something, but one of the first bigger jobs I ever had to use them, and they're already definitely paying for themselves. This top bar gets a little tricky. It's a 12 on the back side and a 6 on the front side. And either having a friend like Brandon to help get it started for me or monkeying around, well, having a friend's going to save you a lot of time. And then the last step we chose was just the bottom one. I kept everything loose after we put it in, jiggled it around, make sure that it was just pretty neutral in all the adjustments. Pretty much all the bolts are almost like fish-eyed and around just for, you know, just in case any car is different during manufacturing. Other than that, install was pretty easy. The biggest thing was the Allens. So one of the things that I saw online when I was researching this project was, and it's really cool actually the way Subaru did it, is these little ears are two pieces of carpet. They're stapled together in the back. I'm just going to have to go through off camera, just take them off real quick because you don't want to look at me for 10 minutes trying to fool with this. But then really it just makes space for the cut through and everything down here. And then worst case scenario, if I trim it up, make it look really nice, I can replace them and just buy some brand new OE parts, put it all back to stock if need be. Alright, so the best way we figured out how to do this while we're off camera is I just grabbed pretty much a really standard pick, and they're just construction staples. Just pull each ears off and get to where then you can just pretty much take off the back end. We use a kind of pick to get the spot up, and then just some dikes to fully remove it. That way, like I said earlier, you could just buy these if you want to just trim them and make them even nicer flushing fitting inside to make it more of like an OE plus type look.
Alright guys, so we're running into a little bit of an issue putting the carpet back in.
The bottom ears work just fine. They fit just fine, but what we're going into is where the carpet goes into the interior. It's looking like we're going to have to take a cut and just kind of follow down a little bit and then make another ear to then flip around to the bar. Something unexpected, so this is something you may run into when trying to do your own thing, or keep it out, weight reduction. At a certain point, it's just a car.
Yeah, you could just strip it all out. It looks good that way, but we're just going to go ahead and put a cut in that and put the carpet back in so it's nice and clean looking. So as you guys can see, Matt already got one of these cut out to where the bar fits back there, and he's down there working on another one right now, but came up pretty good, looks pretty clean, looks good in there, clean cuts. So yeah, we'll get back to you guys once we have both of those cut out and we have the carpet back in.
Okay, so one thing we were like mocking up the second one is it's really tough to see. I'll try to get a zoom in, but there's this little white X. It's where the inside insulation meets, and it's actually almost the perfect depth to go all the way into when you're trimming out this carpet. We measured then, basically on the top section on this cut is 4 inches. And then we're doing just a little over 2.5, may vary per car, don't know, first one we're doing.
So, not exactly sure what the problem is, but we're having a little bit of trouble reading this.
Yeah, Japanese, I know English. So the one thing with the pictures that they showed you in the instructions were overall really good, but these ears do need to cut. We tried to fiddle with it for, I don't know, a while now. And you could probably get away with cutting just one, but then it'd be lopsided and not a clean looking. So at this point, you're going to see a little bit of body frame in the back end inside the trunk. But, I mean, it's a race car, right? So the last thing is we knew we had to cut the trunk tray as well. The ears you can see down here. But it makes it overall cleaner, a little bit more black, less car metal. Plus, then you're just going to have to throw some stuff in there. On the pass-through, well, one of the very first times I used the pass-through was just to get these parts home. I had them shipped to the work. It's a lot easier. What we did on the back end was basically 10 inches straight from the back. It's about 3 inches wide, and then all the way to the end of this lip. The reason why we had to cut so far in, even though it's not 100% perfect, is to fold the flaps to fit underneath. You can't really fold it too much. It really felt like we're going to start breaking the trunk tray. Didn't want to do any of that. So overall, pass through delete, it's not the worst. I've had the car for 6 months. I was lucky enough to go ahead and pre-order it when they had a new body style and the bigger brakes. Definitely something I wanted to get since I was already in the market for an STI. So pretty much, I think we're pretty much wrapped up. Looking really good. Brandon, what are your thoughts about this?
I think it looks amazing. It definitely wasn't the hardest install. It took a little bit longer than expected, but things happen. Once we got everything measured out, it really wasn't too much of a pain. In
terms of taking the carpet out and bolted it in, that was like 30% of the time. The rest was wanting to put the factory carpet back, trying to make it somewhat clean. This is my daily, so needed some functionality. If I was going to throw bags back here, I didn't want stuff, or even like a drink for some reason getting spilt, less minimizing of getting the metal in the car sticky and having to go back and detail it later. Could I have done a little bit better job? Yeah, but first try, not bad.
And overall, even though maybe it's not perfect, but personally I think it looks great. And it's very firm. We got it in there real good. Should see some improvements.
Yeah. So we'll take it for a test drive later. We'll kind of do like maybe a wrap up. This is part 1 of a series we're going to start doing. I got a couple of more parts. I got a couple of more ideas, especially to lock down the rear end. One of the primary things that Subarus do, either maybe the factory alignment and or people's driving characteristics, is just understeer. You can get away with it with left foot braking and other things, but primarily rear suspension will let the car rotate a little bit more, and this is the first step to get to there. So I'm really interested to see if this is going to make any difference with the factory spring rates, dampening, and sways, and we'll go from there.
Alright guys, well this was episode 1 of the STI. I hope you guys like Matt. He's very knowledgeable and he has a passion like mine. So I hope you guys really enjoy one of the new cars that you might be seeing on the channel. Anyways, guys.
Thanks so much for watching. Definitely hit like, subscribe, the bell. You know everything. I watch tons of YouTube videos, doing all my homework like everybody else. So hopefully if you're in the market or have an idea about this helped you think of something that at least threw me for a loop. Once again, like, subscribe. You know the drill. Appreciate you.
Peace out. Bye.
Oh.